You're listening to Living in Spain podcasts with David Wright.
So this afternoon I'm going to talk a little bit about tapas. I love my Spanish tapas here. Do you like your tapas? Okay, so where did it all come from? Where did the word tapas come from and what does it mean? Well, the word tapas was derived from the Spanish verb tapar, to cover, or in plain English, a lid or top. And the history of Spanish tapas starts about the 19th century when the roads were very bad. Originally the Roman roads, or even before that in the Middle Ages, the roads were pretty bad all across Spain. Travelling was exhausting and most people couldn't read or write back then. The inns, or the bodegas, grew up along the sides of the road, offering meals and rooms and fresh horses to travellers. Most innkeepers couldn't read or write and few travellers could read either back then. So these small inns would offer their guests a simple dish available on a tapa, the word for top or cover. In fact, tapa was and still is a portion of small food all over Spain. There are a couple of different legends on how the tapas started. The first was King Alfonso. He wasn't a well king, he had stomach problems, and he needed to eat small meals and often during the day. He liked to drink as well, so he often had a small drink, a glass of wine, after each meal. It was reported that the king made a full recovery back to health, and then after this he decided to make all bars and inns offer this free snack service along with the wine. There is another legend about the tapas which originated in the countryside, more focused on the working class and the farmers who worked long hard hours in the countryside. The legend said that the workers used to stop around midday and have a glass of wine while they were waiting for their dinner. And in Andalusia, there was often quite a lot of flies around the wine, so they used to put a lid or a tapa on top of the wine, or a little saucer. And then they started putting little bits of bread on top of that saucer, which people would snack on. And then maybe a few little olives as well, or a small piece of cheese. Later on, there was meat dishes like chorizo was put on top as well, spicy sausage. And that is how the tapas began. Whichever story you believe, personally I think the one in the fields is more feasible. Tapas are now a big part of Spanish culture. And here in Andalusia, tapas are very popular. In Almeria, tapas are free most places. Now people always say it's not really free because you're paying for the wine or the beer. So this is what I've found in my 22 years here in Spain. I've travelled all over Spain and I have had tapas in many different places all over Spain. But there are some different rules and regulations. For example, here in Almeria, if you order a glass of wine or beer, you normally get a plate of tapas free. Now this is included in the price of the wine, so not really free if you like. But you can get to order off of the menu as well here in Almeria. Now a lot of other places in Spain you can pay for a tapas dish, normally about €2 or €3, and you can still order as well what you like. Or you might just get a plate of what you're given. It could be a few crisps, bit of cheese, bit of bread or some olives. But this will also be included in your price of your drink. Now here in Almeria, if you order a beer or wine or pretty much any other alcoholic drink, you will normally get a plate of food, and you can order this plate of food, which is normally fresh cooked to order, off of a menu of about 10 or 15 tapas depending on how big the bar is. I've only found that in Almeria they have a menu where you can order tapas, various tapas off of that menu, and you won't be charged any more than the price of the beer or wine. There are tapas bars all over Spain, of course, and some of them do have a menu, but you will normally find that you have to pay for it. For example, several years ago I was up in Pamplona visiting my wife's Spanish family, and there's some lovely tapas bars along the run where they do the bull run there, the famous bull run in Pamplona. Now these tapas there are amazing. They're on a long slice of bread, French bread, and there are some fantastic meat dishes, fish and just about everything in between. And this is about €3. You can order off a menu, but you pay around €3 for a beer or a glass of wine, and the same for the tapas, so around €6 a head. In Cordoba as well, there's some lovely tapas bars behind the mosque in the centre of Cordoba. Now, one or two of these bars in Cordoba do offer free tapas, but you won't normally get to choose. Having said that, they also have a menu as well, so you can choose what dishes you wish, but there will be a small charge for that. Same in Seville as well. There are some tapas bars there, but you'll normally be given what they've got on offer of the day. Maybe a few olives or some crisps. Some of the bars there will offer a menu, but obviously you'll be charged for it. Further down south towards Malaga way, in Huelva, that sort of area, and in Cadiz, they do more fish tapas. It might be some sardines, or some anchovies, or even some small cod balls done in breadcrumbs, which is very tasty. Further inland in Madrid and in Toledo, you're more likely to get meat dishes and some spicy sausage dishes. Well, that's a mouthful to say. So, if you're in the Almeria area, there's some great tapas bars I can recommend. For example, in Agua Dulce, along the front, there are several tapas bars there. And around the port area of Agua Dulce, as you go into the marina on the left-hand side, there's some lovely little tapas bars sheltered under the cliffs there. In Roquetas de Mar, a little bit further down the coast, there are amazing tapas bars there along the beachfront. And one of my favourites, and very famous there, is the Gamba de Oro, the golden prawn. That's in the main high street as you come into Roquetas de Mar, near the children's park, near the big gorilla, if you know where that is. And remember, in Roquetas, there's the famous 100 tapas bar. Amazing. In the Grand Plaza there. You can get up to 100 different tapas, ordered off of a menu, but there is a small charge for that. Several years ago when I used to live in Agua Dulce, my wife and I used to go out about 3 times a week for a couple of beers and a couple of tapas. And to be honest, 2 beers and 2 tapas is enough to fill you up, and you don't need any dinner. And it's quite a cheap way of eating out, or it used to be. Now where I live here in Almeria, it's a little bit more expensive. It's around €3 or maybe $3.25 for a beer and a plate of food as well. And here, remember, it's off the menu, ordered fresh and included in the beer or wine. So, wherever you are in Spain, try the tapas. Not just the free ones, all of them. Even if you have to pay a little bit extra, it's only a few euros and you get some really spicy dishes here. And try something different. Be adventurous. There are some amazing tapas here, which you might not fancy at first, like octopus or black paella, or paella, as the Spanish say. All very tasty. So what's your favourite? Have you got a favourite tapas? Let us know in the comment section. Remember, if you want more information about tapas, I've got a book out on Amazon and Kindle, and it's a free download on some devices. It's called A Guide to Tapas by David Wright. Check it out.
If you have enjoyed this podcast by David Wright, then you will love his new books. Out now on Amazon and Kindle, packed with money-saving tips and information on living and working in Spain. Just go to livinginspainbooks.com. David also has a popular blog for expats in Spain. Come and take a look now at BritishExpatsInSpain.com.